Hi everyone, welcome back again. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to perform email verification in Django using OTPs instead. So whenever a user signs up on the website, this user is going to receive an OTP in his or her email address instead, and this OTP expires every 5 minutes instead. So with this OTP, this user can verify his or her email account instead, his or her email account here. So that is how it's been. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to illustrate the process to you right now. So right now I have this simple website here. So I'm going to sign up right here. Go down to /register to sign up. So I'm on the registration form on the sign up form now. I'm going to put in my email. Okay. Then let me just give it. I'm going to call this. Let me just say Clinton41 as the username, and then just put in the password there. So register. Okay, so I'm going to receive an OTP sent to this email address here. So let's wait for that. Okay, says account created successfully and OTP was sent to your email. So let's confirm that. So this is the email address here. You can see right now I just got an email. I just got a message sent to me right now. It says email verification. You can see here. So here's the mail. It says hi Clinton41. Here is your OTP. This is my OTP. Let me make this big so you can see clearly. That's too big, so you can see. Say hi Clinton41. Here is your OTP. This is my OTP here. So now it expires in 5 minutes. So right now this is the page. So this is the page over here where I need to input the OTP, right? So I'm just gonna I also add the link to this page. The link to this page is also in the email. This is the link to the page over here. So I'll copy the OTP now, Ctrl+C, and then go back to this page now, and then paste the OTP here and activate my account. You can see since my account has been activated successfully, and right now I can log in. So let me log in this time. Put in your email address. So if your account wasn't verified, you can't log in, you understand? So okay, right now I'm logged in. You can say hi Clinton41, you're now logged in, you understand? So that's how it works here. So the OTP expires every 5 minutes, you understand? So if you are not fast enough, your OTP is going to expire. Once your OTP expire, you can always resend a new OTP. You can see here. You can see if you need a new OTP, you can always send a new one. Put in your email address. Make sure your email address is valid. So just in case you want to get a new OTP, let's assume you are not fast enough to input the OTP you received and the OTP expired, you can always request for a new OTP. So if you remember from our form, from the email we sent here, this is the verification page. I'm going to open it again. This is the verification page. If I remember, I already verified the email address already. So you can see under the button, you can see it says need a new OTP. You can always request. Understand? Just open this now. So open it now. You can always request a new OTP. So right, and I said before, if you input an invalid email address, it's going to always tell you that this email is invalid. Understand? So make sure you put an email that exists in the database. So if I put in something random here at gmail.com, so this email does not exist in our database. I click on send OTP. It says that this email does not exist in the database. So you must put in something that actually exists. You get. So I'm going to put in the same email address again, and I'm going to receive another OTP. But remember, I already have the email address already verified, so there's no need for this. But I'm going to send. So just send OTP. Click on the button. Okay, so right now I can see here it says over here a new OTP that is sent to your email address instance. So we are going to check that out. So go down to the email, because we have a new mail sent here. Open this now. Instead, just scroll down. This is the new OTP over here. Understand? So remember, we already verified our email address, so there is no need for this again. Understand? So that's just it. So this video, I'm going to show you how this is being done. So that's further ado, we are getting started right now. Okay guys, so right now I already have the code written now, so I'm going to explain every step of the code to you guys. Understand? So I remember before I proceed, I need to say this. If you don't activate, if you don't verify your email address, you can't log in. If you sign up to the page, if you sign up and you don't verify your email, you can't log in. It's always going to return an error that says invalid credential. It's going to return an alert that says invalid credential. So make sure you verify your email address and then you can log in. You get. So that's that one. So here's my code base. So the first thing I did was to customize the user model. You understand? So go down. I'm going to go down to my OTP app. Go down in the models.py file. So right there, I have my email. I have my user model customized, whereby I have to make sure that I can sign up with my email and then password. You know, by default, Django uses the username and the password to log in rather. So to log in, I have to customize the user model so I can log in with the email and password. And by default, Django uses username and password, but right there I want to use the email to log in and not the username. You get? So that's it. So that's what I did here. That's the customization of the user model in the models.py file. You understand? So and over down in my send.py file, I have to go down there to link to let Django know about the customization. So I scroll down here, you can see where we have our user model, whereby we're using right here, we're using the customized user model right here. Instance, that's what it's saying here. So we have that done already. Once we have that done, so the next thing now is the user creation. Understand? User sign up. Understand? Whenever a user signs up, we have the email sent to this user. So far, here's my sign up view. This view here is responsible for signing up a user. Understand? So if the form is valid, we are going to save the form data, the user data, and then we are going to return a message that says account created successfully and OTP was sent to your email. And once we've done that, we are going to simply redirect to the verify page. That was happening there. You get? So this is my sign up view. So these are I write my PPE. I know there are different ways of writing the sign up view, but these are I write my own. So I always have to go down to my forms.py and then create a registration form, and this form inherits from the user creation form. Understand? So in the class method, my model, this get user model we have here points to the user model. Currently we are using the customized user model, right? So this get user model is going to point down to the customized user model that we are currently using. And right, and these are the fields I want doing the user creation, doing the user sign up. They use the email, the username, the password, and the confirm password. These are the fields I want. And up here, I simply this part here is just simply me trying to style these 4 fields. Understand? So once I've done that, now I'm going to simply import this form into my views.py file. I have it imported here, and I'm going to use the form as a sign up form. Understand? So that's how I do my, you get? So these are our sign up view now. That's it. So once the user signs up, something else happens. We have the OTP created for the user, and we also send an email containing this OTP to the user. Understand? So once the user signs up, we have 2 things that happens. An OTP gets created, and also an email gets sent to this user that was newly created. You understand? So and that is done in the signals.py file, in my signals.py file. So you can go and read more about Django Signals, but I'm going to explain it to you right here. Okay, so now this is it. Now this function called create token, it gets activated, it gets called whenever a user gets created. Just watch here now. So we have the sender. The sender is pointing out to our user model, to the customized user model. So this post save simply means to say, this post save simply says whenever a user is created, whenever the user is being saved. So if we go down to the Django admin, I'm going to show you something at Django admin. So now, okay, 127/admin. So let me log in quickly. So I want to show you what I'm talking about. The post save you see there, all it means is this. Now, if I click on add user, and if I enter these fields over here and I click on save, it's the same thing as me trying to sign up on the front end. As me trying to sign up over here. Let me show you slash register. It's the same thing as me trying to sign up. This is the front end, this is the back end. Understand? So whenever a user gets created, this create token, this function here gets activated, it gets called. Understand? And the sender here is the user model. The instance is the user that was created, and this created now, the value is either true or false. So if a new instance, if a new user is created, it's going to return true. Understand? So leave this keyword. So we're going to forget about this keyword args. So now if created now, so if this is going to say that if a new user is created, and right now we are checking something. So now if the user is an admin, if we create a, so right now I just want to check if an admin is created. Just simply do nothing, don't create a token for the admin. So right now we now have the else block. So this else block, let me close this. So this else block, now this is what it does here. So now it creates an OTP token for a non-admin user, for a non-super user, you understand? So it creates an OTP token. So I'm going to go down to our models.py file. So here's my models.py file. This is it over here, and we have a model called OTP token. This is our OTP. You can see it's linked to the user model, and we have a field called OTP code. We have the time the field was created, and we also have the time it's going to expire. Hope you understand. So now this user says, so right now we have a foreign key. We have the OTP linked to the user model using through a foreign key. That's to say that a user can have several OTP codes. That's fine, you understand? So, and the OTP code, you can see something going on here. You can see it's a character field, and you can see that we have this defaults. It says secret.token_x. Understand? So we have to import secret on top. So now whenever this OTP, so whenever this token, whenever this model is being created, we have this field having a this field is always going to have a value, a random 6 character value. You understand? So and that value is going to serve as the OTP. You can see here it says it has a default value secret.token_x. Understand? So I'm going to always have a random 6 character value. And remember, we have to import secrets on top. Understand? So in the signals now, whenever a user is created, we have this OTP token. We have this OTP token created. This is a model. You understand? OTP token.object was create, and we said the user should be equal to instance. I told you that instance is simply pointing down to the newly created user, and the OTP expires at. So remember, we don't have a value for that field. OTP expires at, we don't have a value for it. It's simply saying blank and null instead. So what we're doing here now is this. Now we are simply trying to just like getting the current time, and simply adding 5 minutes to it. So it should be 5 minutes. So what we are doing here is this. Now we are getting the current time, and then adding 5 minutes to this OTP. Into this field called OTP expires at. Remember, this is a field over here. It's simply this is a blank field. But whenever our user gets signed up, we create the OTP token model and we put in the values. And this OTP expires at now. We are simply just giving it 5 minutes, 5 minutes interval. Understand? That's what we're doing there. You get? So right now you can see from this model now we only provided value for 2 fields, the user field and the OTP expires at. You remember from over here, that's what we did, right? So we only provided value for this user and OTP expires at. So as for the OTP code, I told you that this field is automatically generated. Whenever a new token is created, this field is automatically generated, and this is the OTP code itself. It is automatically generated by this secret token. And if you want more characters, you can simply increase the number we have here. As for this TP_created, this field over here, this should have been OTP, but it's a mistake, so don't worry, leave it like that. This should have been OTP_created at, but since I used TP, it's fine. That was a typo from my end, but it's working, so we are going to stick with TP. So this field now, whenever this model is being created, it simply records the time the model was created. So right now we don't have to provide values for these 2 fields. Instead, so we only provided value for the user field and the OTP expires at. So what we are doing here. Instead, so right now this token that was created now is for the user that was newly signed up. That was the saying here. This you get that what this instance is saying. And so once the user is signed, so once you've created a token for the user, I tell you that this instance is pointing out to the newly created user, right? So I'm going to set, so the user model has a field called is active. So and by default this field is always set to true. So if it's active, so if this field is set to true, let me show you the field in the admin. Go down to the users model. So I'm going to put all of these fields now. So now you can see this is a field here. So if this field is false, this user cannot log in. So what is happening here is that whenever user gets signed up, I'm going to set this field to false. That means user cannot log in except user has imputed this OTP. Except user has verified his email. And then once I've done that now, I'm going to simply just save that user, save the instance. You understand? That what is happening there. And at this bottom here, we have where we send the email to the user, where we send the mail to the user's email. So what is happening here now? So first of all, now we have to get the OTP token, the last token for the newly created user. And what we are doing here, we got the last token for the newly created user. And right now we're having our email credentials from this subject here. Remember, this is our send mail function. So the email, so our email heading is called email verification. That's the heading. If I show you from here, that's the heading. You can see, where is it? If I go back here, you can see it says email verification. That's the heading, right? And the body is simply, the message is simply trying to say hi. Hi. So the user, this is going to be the user. This is going to be the user's username. You can see we're using the formatted string, and I'm using three quotation. What was it called again? 3 quotation. Understand? 3 double quotation. That's because I want to have multi-line string. So if I use a double, I'm going to simply, I can only have a single line. But since I want to have multi-line, I have to use a 3 quotation here. You understand? So I remember we are saying hi username. This username is coming from the user's username, and that user is the instance. So I say here's your OTP code. I told you that we are trying to get the last up here. We are trying to get the last OTP of that user, the last OTP code. So how I did here, OTP.OTP code. This has the actual code. So I have to tell you that it expires in 5 minutes, right? So use the URL below to redirect to the website. So here's our URL that helps us redirect to the page where we are going to simply verify our email address. And this is the sender's email, and this is the receiver. The receiver is the user's email, the newly created user email address, and then we have to send the mail. You understand? So right now this happens whenever a new user is created, and only when the user is not an admin. Remember, all this is going to happen. So whenever a user signs up now, I said before, we have the signal activated. You understand? So that's it. So once that is done, so once the user signs up, the user gets an email address, and in that email that the user gets, the email contains the OTP code and also the URL to the verified page. You understand? So that's it. Okay, so that's that now. So what are we talking about? So when you sign up now, you get the code in your email. So there's a sample code here. So I click on this, because this is the code up here, and you can simply redirect to the verified page, where you can input this email, and then where you can input this code and then verify the email address. I'm going to explain this function that is responsible for this page. So up here, where's my views.py? Let me open that right away. Views.py. Okay, here is it. Now so scroll down. So here's the verified email page. You understand? So you can see now we have the username as an extra parameter. So you can see over here, you can see it says verify email / username. You get, so that is it there. So how does it come up from here? Redirect, passing the value for the username, which is the username that we imputed into the sign up form. You understand? So up here, so in this verify email function, so we have to get the username, we have to get the user based on the username that we have here, based on the username. And again, so after we got the user, so what we did now was that we have to get the OTP token. We have to simply get the OTP for the last OTP for the user. We have to get the last OTP token. Remember, a user can have several tokens, several OTPs, right? So we have to get the last OTP for the user. And then remember, in this function here, we have to verify the OTP, right? So someone can just, so you can't just come in here and impute any random 6 characters, no, because down here we are verifying it. So we are checking to see. So now right now we are listening for a post request, and the post request always occurs whenever the form is submitted, whenever this button is clicked, whenever the form is submitted, right? So what we'll now do is this. Now we're going to simply just check. Okay, remember we are checking for we said this is it here, right? This users, we are checking to see if the OTP from our database, if the last OTP for the user, is the same thing as what was imputed into the form, this field here. So we are checking to see if it is the same. You get. So if it is the same, next thing we are going to check now, we are going to check if the OTP has expired. Has it expired, or is the OTP still valid? So also in line 41 now, we are checking to see if the user.otp.expires. As remember, we have this field called expires at. This is field here whereby we have to add 5 minutes to it. Whereby we have to add an interval of 5 minutes to it whenever the OTP token is created. Remember, over here we have to add an interval of 5 minutes to that field. Understand? Over here and down here in this view, we are going to see if the OTP token has expired. So how do we check about it? So we said if user otp.otp.expires .otp underscore expires, if it is greater than the current time. If it is greater, that means the OTP is still valid. That means the OTP is still valid. So once the OTP is valid, we are going to simply make sure that our user, we are going to make our is active. The user is active. We are going to set it to true. We are going to simply set it to true. Remember, whenever a user has been created, we have to set the is active to false. But right now, if the OTP token is valid up here, and also if the OTP has not expired, we are going to simply set is active for the user to true, and we are going to save the user model, and then we are going to simply return an alert that says account activated successfully, and then we are going to redirect the login page. We are going to redirect the login page. Understand? So right now this else block is for this if block, right? So right in the if, you are checking to see if the OTP is still valid. So if the OTP is no longer valid, that means the OTP has expired. So we are trying to see if the OTP has we are trying to see if the OTP is if it has not expired. So right, this up one is for the if the OTP is valid. So I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C and paste here. This is for valid token, and this is now for checking for expired token. Understand? So checking for expired token. So right now, if the token is expired now, we're going to simply return an alert that says the OTP has expired, get a new OTP, and then we're going to redirect to the same page. I'm going to simply redirect to the same page. So right now, I'm going to input a random OTP now. So put in something random and click on activate account. You can see it says invalid OTP entered. Enter a valid OTP. Remember I told you that our OTP expires every 5 minutes, right? So that's what we are checking over here. So now I'm going to enter a valid OTP that has expired. So I'm going to get this OTP from this email. I'm going to get the last one I said. It should be the last one. Hope I'm in the right place. Okay, yes. Just copy this OTP. I told you that, and see. I'm going to see if you can still use it. So impute it there. Activate account. It tells you that the OTP has expired. You can see because it has gone beyond 5 minutes. You can see that. So what was happening there? You can see this else block is for the expired OTP, and we have another else block here. This else block you see here is for this if block we have on top. So now this is going to tell us. So now this is going to simply return if the user enters an invalid OTP. Something like if the user come over here and just enter some random characters and click on activate. So this else block you see here is responsible for that. While the inner else block is responsible for if the OTP has expired or not. Sorry, I'm calling OTP token is the same thing. So just know that. So that's it for the verify. That's it for the verify email. Understand? So this is what I missed. So that's it. So now everyone, so remember now we are done with the OTP with the verify email code. Understand? So we're done with that. So that's so once you have your email verified, you're going to get redirected. You're going to get redirected to the login page where you can log in. But let's assume you were not able to. Input your OTP code fast enough and it expired. So what do? You have the option. You have the option of getting a new OTP. Click on the link below. So right here, you can input your OTP. You can input your email address here and get a new OTP sent to you again. You get. So here's the code for that. So we have the function called. Just under the verify email, we have the function called resend OTP. Understand? So we have the request. So we are checking for the post request. Remember, the post request always occurs whenever the button is being clicked, whenever the form is being submitted. You get so. So now that's that. So over here. So what I'm doing now is that we are simply, so now this user one that's called email. What it does now is that we are simply trying to get the field. We're trying to get the value that was imputed into this field, into the email field. So that was happening here. This request post. We're trying to get the value that was imputed. This user email is simply trying to get the value that was imputed into this field, right? And you might be wondering, this OTP email you see here is the name attribute, is the value of the name attribute of the field, the value of the name attribute. I'm going to go down to the field right now. So that's field. This is the field here. So Resend OTP. This is the field over here. You can see this is the field, and this is the name attribute. Now this is the value of the name attribute. This is the value of the name attribute. So through this now through this value we can get the actual value of the input field. Understand? So that's what we did in the views now. Request post, then the value of the name attributes. This is the name attributes here I'm talking about. The same thing happens here for the OTP code. Understand? So if I go down to the verify page now, sure I've said this earlier but I just remembered. For the verify page now, so you can see now this is the input field for the OTP code where you can enter your OTP code. You can see the name attributes and this is the value. So to this value you can get the actual value of that input field. Understand? Of that field. So what I'm doing down here again. So I got the email. So once I get the email, so I'm going to check if the email exists in our database. If the email exists, you cannot just come in here and put in a random email and expect to get a code. No, the email must actually exist in the database. You get so. We're going to check if the email exists in the database. So once we've done that, now we're going to also get the user that owns that email, because remember, a user can only have one email. From our customization of the user model, we have to make our email unique. You get so user can only have one email. So right now we have to get the user with that email. So after we've gotten the user now, so we're going to simply what I'm going to do now is remember we're trying to send the user a new OTP. You can start. So once this is true, once the email exists, we are going to get the user that owns the email, and we're also going to create a new token for that user, for that user that owns the email that was entered into the field. We're going to create a new token for the user. That's what is happening here. Remember, and right now we did the same thing again over here. For the OTP expires field, we put in the time zone not now, and we added extra 5 minutes to the field. Understand? So once we've done that again, we are going to simply send a mail. We are going to send a mail to this user's email address. This is the email variables over here. This is the heading. This is the actual message. You can see we put it, so you can see put in the OTP code. Understand? So OTP code there, and it tells the user that it expires in 5 minutes. And after we've done that now, we have the link to the page where the user can simply verify the email address, and we have our send mail function here. And once everything goes well, once the user is able to get a new OTP, we are going to return an alert that says that a new OTP has been sent to your email address, and then we are going to redirect the user to the verify page. That's what is happening here. Or else, you have the else block. The else block is for this. It's for the if block. This second if block. So about this if block is checking to see if the email exists, right? So if it does not exist, we are going to simply just say this email does not exist in the database, does not exist, right? And we are going to simply redirect you to the same page where you are. Instance. So right, I'm going to put in that email. If I put in the email again, I click on send OTP, I'm going to have an alert that says that we're going to have an alert that says, where's the alert come up? Sorry, you can see now this is the alert here. It says a new OTP has been sent to your email. So if I impute something, if I impute an invalid email, an email that does not exist, it tells me that, oh sorry, this is not the page here. So that was the previous page. Remember, if you input in the right email, it's going to redirect you to the. It's going to simply redirect you to the verify email page. So if I put in an invalid email here and then send OTP, it tells that the email does not exist, right? So that's it. So this is how the resend OTP. This is how it works. You get, so we send OTP. Okay, that's it now, and then we have our sign-in field. So once everything is done, once you've been able to verify your email address, you can log in. Instead, you can log into the page, log in, and then input your details and then log in. So this is our login view over here. So I'm going to say it again. So if you don't get your email verified, you can't log in. It's going to always return an invalid credentials to you as a message to you. You understand? Okay guys, right now I'm going to simply do a recap. I'm going to recap everything now, do a simple recap about this. First of all, I started by customizing the user model. We're about to make the email unique because I want to use this email to as a login credential, you understand? So whereby I can log in with my email and password, you get. So what I did over here, after I did that, I needed to make Django know about this by going to my setting.py file and then informing Django about the customization, which I did over here. Understand? So after I've done that, now we worked on the sign up view. The sign up view whereby users can create accounts. Understand? Once user creates an account, what happens next is we have a token created for that user. We have a token created for the user, and then we have the token sent as email to the user. And this signal is responsible for that. Understand? It's responsible for that action. And once that is done, the user receives the mail containing the OTP, and then in that same email, the user can then redirect to the page where the user can simply verify the email address. Understand? Once the user enters the token into the page, we get the value of the token first and check if the token is valid. If it is valid, the next thing we check to see if the token has expired or not. If the token hasn't expired, we then set the user is active property to true, and then we save the user, and then we return an alert that tells the user that the account has been created successfully, and then we redirect the sign-in page. We then redirect the sign-in page. Understand? So how we do the else, we then listen. Understand? So we have the else block that does the reverse of what we did in the if block. Understand? And then we have the resend token. The resend token simply helps to resend a new token to the user. If in case the user's token has expired, the user can simply request a new token. And what the resend OTP function does. Understand? That's it. And the login is to enable the user to log into the website. Understand? So that's it. I really hope you gained some value. If you did gain some value, do not to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Understand? So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.